Welcome, beloved students of Socratic School. I am here today to present to you the Socratic School DSLP lesson, that is Grade 7 Integrated Science. Integrated Science is a very interesting learning area that is preparing you for senior secondary. Realize that you are now a junior secondary school learner, preparing for senior secondary school, and later on you move to the other stages. And you realize that as you move from one stage to another, you are expected to narrow or you specialize to becoming an expert. The only way you can be prepared very well to become an expert, to become a medical doctor, to become an engineer, to become a teacher, to become a lawyer, to become a pilot, you are expected to narrow down. You are expected to specialize in certain areas so that you become a useful human being in that particular area. You become our doctor, you become our teacher, you become our lawyer, you become our engineer, you become our pilot. That is the reason why we are in school. We are in school so that we get prepared. And there is a time when opportunity will arise. And that is why we say success is when opportunity meets preparedness. We need a doctor, and Eli is prepared. We need a lawyer, and Emmanuel is prepared. We need an engineer, and Florence is prepared. That is what we are talking about. We are talking about integrated science that is really preparing you to specialize as you move to the next stage, moving to senior school, that is the senior secondary. That is where you get to understand what is it that you are good at. I am so happy that you have had an opportunity to study in Socratic School and have had a chance to be mentored in various aspects of your career. We began by doing what we call personality and career inclination test, that is the PCAT. When you reported to Socratic School, the first thing that was done was we conducted a PCAT test, that is personality and career inclination test. Very important term there, inclination. So that we discover what you look like. Scientifically, how do you look like? Do you look like an engineer? Do you look like a doctor? Do you look like a pilot? Do you look like a scientist? When we get to discover learning areas and strands of the integrated science, you will enjoy the lesson because it is interesting and it is very practical. Now let us move and understand what is really integrated science. In this learning area, expect to learn about scientific investigation. Most of you saw in your PCID test, we wrote investigative career. Some of us, realistic careers. Some of us, social careers. Some of us, entrepreneur careers. We were preparing you now to move to the next level, specializing to what you really love, to what you really like. You can now understand. Now, in these learning areas, we are going to talk about scientific investigation. Very interesting. We are going to discover what we are talking about, mixtures, elements, and compounds. Very interesting. You are going to learn more about what we call living things and the environment. You are going to discover about force and energy. When you look at all this, there are only two things that are very important. We talk about scientific investigation, mixtures, elements, and compounds, living things and environment, force and energy. You realize that we are moving around two very important things, that is matter and what we call living things. Actually, we are talking about biology, which is the study of living things. We are talking about physics, which is actually more about matter, and chemistry. We are beginning with the first part, that is the scientific investigation. The scientific investigation. What are we talking about here? You realize that we are discussing about a scientific investigation. Here we are talking about introduction to integrated science, laboratory safety, and basic science skills, and lastly laboratory apparatus and instruments. Those are some of the things that you are going to expect as we move on. Now let us find out what is integrated science. And we say integrated science introduces you to the senior skill learning areas of specialization. And I want you to underline specialization. As we move on, things get more interesting and even easier because you begin to specialize. You begin to reduce the work and specialize in that area. Now we say integrated science, very important, learners. Integrated science is bringing together the different components of science, for holistic understanding of the world around us. You get that? It is saying integrated science involves bringing together the holistic, that is the components of science, so that we can understand the world. You will not be wrong when you say that science is all about improving the world. Science is all about making our world a better place. Science is about solving problems. We will be talking very much later in life as we move on in the various stages of schooling. We will be talking about the moon. We will be discovering more about the sun. We will be discovering more about the earth. We will discover more about blood. We will want to solve the problems, the daily problems that we encounter as human beings. And so science, to me, I would say, is all about solving problems. That is it. Let's move on and find out what is there. Now, let's talk about the components of integrated science. You see biology, which is the study of living things, like ourselves, like animals, like plants, those are living things. We talk about physics, is the study of relationship between matter and energy. And I say physics is all about matter and energy. And chemistry, which is the study of properties and composition of matter and changes that matter undergoes. Very interesting. These are areas that earlier it was studied in high school, in what you call secondary school. But now we are in the CBC arrangement, and so we are studying these things as early as grade 7 so that we prepare ourselves to specialize when we go to the next level. Now look at these people. Look at these guys. There is careers, professions, and professionals, and also integrated areas. What you can expect as you move on. You see, this is a doctor. You are preparing yourselves. Some of us are preparing ourselves to be engineers. Some of us are preparing ourselves to be chemists. Some of us drug experts. You know, we are preparing you to become something, and that something is going to be determined by your love, your inclination towards certain areas. You know, you will be inclined to certain areas more than others. That is the reason why, if you really want to become a medical doctor, you need to identify what are these areas that make me to become a medical doctor, work hard on those areas so that you perform very well, so that during the time for placement, you will be selected to join a senior school that is providing that particular area. Realize that it is all about how you will perform. The only way we can discover and understand what you are good at is through what you have done. That is what you have written. We say, we will give you an examination. And we say, examination is a test that finds out whether you succeeded in moving information from the textbook to your head and from your head back to paper. Examination is a test that finds out whether you succeeded in moving information from the textbook to your head and from your head back to paper. So we will understand when we give you a plain paper to write what you've learned all through in integrated science. Then we will understand whether you are a good engineer or a good lawyer or a good teacher or anything else. Of course, all the other learning areas are very, very important in also helping us to understand who you are so that we can place you to the rightful place. That is why CBC is Good news to you, because it's helping you to specialize. And we talk about competence is the key. Competence is the word. Now let's move on and understand senior secondary school. There is a CBC. It's important for you to know that we will have now three very important areas. We're talking about the arts and sports science, the social science, there is a science, that is the technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those are the three areas, very, very important. So you will realize as we move on that some of us will be very good in arts and sports and science. That is where they will be able to now choose one out of three, that is the visual arts, as the performing arts, and sports. When you get to to senior school. When you get to senior school, some of us who are very good in social sciences will need to choose from the three, or language and literature. We will find out if you are good at that, and humanities, and also business studies. Some of us who will be very good in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and math. Those are some of the areas we will prepare you so that you make a good decision. We will be moving on the next time, but before then I want you to watch the video that is coming and make sure that you answer the questions that are coming. Thank you so much, my dear students of the Socratic School. Socratic School, investing in the brain.
Integrated science learning area is expected to create a scientific culture among learners that inculcates scientific literacy to enable them make informed choices in their personal lives and approach their life challenges in a systematic and logical manner. Is therefore a deliberate effort to enhance the level of scientific literacy of all learners and equip them with the relevant basic integrated scientific knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes needed for their own survival and/or career development. Concepts in integrated science are presented as units within which there are specific strands that build on the competences acquired in science and technology at upper primary school level. This provides the learner with the basic requisite skills, knowledge, values, and attitudes necessary for specialization in pure sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology, applied sciences, careers and technology studies, CTS, and technical and engineering subjects offered in the STEM pathway at senior school. Integrated science is taught through inquiry-based learning approaches with an emphasis on the 5S. Engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation. By the end of junior secondary school, the learner should be able to acquire scientific knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes to make informed choices on career pathways at senior school. Select, improvise, and safely use basic scientific tools, apparatus, materials, and chemicals effectively in everyday life. Explore, manipulate, manage, and conserve the environment for learning and sustainable development. Practice relevant hygiene, sanitation, and nutrition skills to promote good health. Apply the understanding of body systems with a view to promote and maintain good health. Develop capacity for scientific inquiry and problem solving in different situations. Appreciate and use scientific principles and practices in everyday life.
Great, thank you. My name is Angela, Socratic School Integrated Science Moderator. Thank you, dear students, for listening and taking notes. Thank you, Mr. Keing, for the wonderful presentation. I agree with you that integrated science is a beautiful adventure. It is indeed and an interesting learning area. And now students record and answer the following questions. 1. What is integrated science? 2. What are the components of integrated science? 3. What are the main components of integrated science? 4. List 4 benefits of studying integrated science. 5. What is the meaning of chemistry, biology, and physics? Draw a chart showing senior school education learning areas. What do you want to become after school, and how is integrated science helping you get there?